Weight refers to the measure of the force of gravity, and in the U.S. customary system of weights and measures, there are three prominent units: ounce, pound, and ton. 16 ounces make 1 pound. 2,000 pounds make 1 ton. With these conversion factors, we can do some converting in problems like this. Convert 62 ounces into pounds. Well, using this rate method that we talked about before, we think of 62 ounces like this. We think of it as 62 ounces over 1. Remember, we're going to deal with fractions, so I'll write this as a fraction, times, and in this fraction we want ounces in the denominator for this cancellation opportunity, and the other unit up here in the numerator. Well, we'll have pounds then in the numerator. Now we want to write the number of ounces in a pound. Oh, let's see, it was 16 ounces in a pound. So 16 ounces make 1 pound, and away we go. The ounces cancel here, and this gives us the information we need about, oh, we need to cancel here, or we need to say that this is 62 divided by 16. And the result will be some number of pounds. Now, let's see, we can divide 16 into 62. We can use our calculator if we want to. We can reduce and then divide. And I think that's probably the thing that you'll do most often. You'll just say something like, well, I see that both of these are even, so 2 into 16 goes 8, 2 into 62 goes 31. And then we'll go off to the side and go through the division process. But it turns out that 8 goes into 31 3 times with 7 left over. So it's 3 7/8 pounds then. That is 62 ounces. Let's convert 3.5 tons into, oh, before we leave this one, I don't want to forget to do this. I don't want to forget to go through that thought process that we talked about before, where we decide whether or not we're going to multiply or divide, and we decide what we're going to multiply or divide by. Now, it goes like this. We're changing from ounces to pounds. And which one is the larger unit? Well, the pounds is a larger unit than ounces. If we're changing to a larger unit, we'll have fewer of them. If we have fewer of them, then we're going to divide in this process. And we divide by the number of smaller units it takes to make one of the larger units. It takes 16 ounces to make a pound, so we're dividing by 16. So we take 62 and divide by 16, and we are converting into the number of pounds that we're after. Okay, so that's the idea. If we want to convert 3.5 tons to pounds, then we think of 3.5 tons as, make this an improper fraction, 2 times 3 is 6 1/7. So this is 7/2 tons times a fraction in which the denominator is the ton idea, you see, and the numerator is some number of pounds. And now, how many pounds are in a ton? Oh, it was 2,000 pounds in a ton. So this is 2,000 pounds for 1 ton. The ton units cancel here, and now we're multiplying 7/2 times 2,000, and we're going to retain this pound unit. Well, the 2 into 2 goes 1, 2 into 2,000 goes 1,000, and now 7 times 1,000 is 7,000 pounds. Now, once again, we could think our way through this. We're going from tons to pounds. We're changing from a larger unit into a smaller unit. When you change to smaller units, there'll be more of them. To have more of something, you multiply. So we're going to multiply by the number of the smaller units it takes to make one of the larger units. It takes 2,000 pounds to make a ton, so we're multiplying 3.5 times 2,000 to get 7,000 pounds. Let's go through a couple of calculations. Now, in this problem, we could actually either add or subtract here. I need to indicate one or the other. Let's subtract. Because the subtraction involves a little bit of borrowing over here, and that's the important aspect in this subtraction process. You see, before we even begin, we have to recognize that we can't take 14 from 5. We don't have enough ounces up here to subtract 14 ounces from. So we need to do some borrowing. We slide over here to the 14 pounds and we borrow a pound. And after we borrow a pound, we're left with 13 pounds. The 1 pound that we borrowed is really 16 ounces. We add the 16 to 5 to get a total of 21 ounces. So that's the way we're looking at it. And we can also add the units here if we want to for completeness, I suppose. But at any rate, it's 21 minus 14. We get 7 ounces. And sliding over 13 minus 8, 5 pounds. So 5 pounds, 7 ounces for this difference. Suppose we want to take 7 pounds, 14 ounces and divide by 3. Remember, in this process, we can look at it like this or we can look at it like this. 3 into 7 pounds, 14 ounces. Now, we know that 3 doesn't go into 7 evenly. We're going to have a remainder here if we go through the division as we see it right here. And that remainder will have to be added to the number of ounces somehow. The easier way, I think, to view the problem or to deal with the problem is to do the borrowing or carrying business right here so that we create a situation where the number of the larger unit, the number of pounds here, is divisible by 3. So what we're going to do is rewrite this as 6 pounds, and the pound that's left over is added over here to the 14 ounces. You see, so it is the idea that we have, let's see, this is 6 pounds plus 1 pound plus 14 ounces. And I'm just going through all the steps here in the thought process. The 1 pound that we took away here is really 16 ounces. So this is 6 pounds plus 16 ounces plus 14 ounces. And now we can add the ounces to give us 6 pounds. 16 and 14 turns out to be 30. Oh, so now we can divide 3 into 6 pounds, 30 ounces. And now, this division goes evenly, and really, this one does too, but it doesn't have to go evenly as much as this one does. 3 into 6 goes 2, so we have 2 pounds, and then 3 into 30 turns out to go 10, so it's 3 pounds, 10 ounces. Serena purchased 4 pounds, 8 ounces of oat bran and 2 pounds, 11 ounces of wheat bran. She plans to blend the 2 brands and then repackage the mixture in 3-ounce packages. How many 3-ounce packages can she make? Well, let's see. First, she's going to blend the 2. That means she's just going to add the 2 together, put them into one big hopper. Now, to show that, mathematically, we just add these together. That is, we're going to add the 4 pounds, 8 ounces, and the 2 pounds, 11 ounces to get, well, let's see, 4 and 2, 6. So we get 6 pounds, 8 and 11. Gee, that's 19 ounces. And if we want to rewrite this in a simpler form, we can take the 16 ounces, which is 1 pound, that's in this 19 ounces. You see, take 16 of those ounces and make another pound over here to write this as 7 pounds. And let's see, when we take 16 away from the 19, it leaves 3. So it's 7 pounds, 3 ounces is another way to write this. All right, now what are we going to do with this 7 pounds, 3 ounces? We've blended the 2 together. So we have added the 2 brands together, and now we are repackaging into 3-ounce packages. And how many of these can we make? Well, we want to know how many of these 3-ounce units there are in 7 pounds, 3 ounces. So we're dividing 3 into 7 pounds, 3 ounces so that we can tell how many packages of this brand she can make. All right, so here's what we're doing. It's 3 ounces into 7 pounds, 3 ounces. All right, it's important in this problem and I want to point out carefully the difference between dividing by 3 ounces and just dividing by 3. You see, in the previous problem, we had a division problem. We had 7 pounds, 14 ounces divided by 3. We were dividing that measure, that amount of weight, into 3 equal parts. Now here, we're not doing that. We're not dividing this into 3 equal parts. We are saying how many of these 3-ounce packages are there in here. So we're dividing by, we want to know how many 3-ounce units there are in all of that. The unit idea makes a big difference here. So in order to complete the division, what we need to do is change this into all ounces. You see, we want to have ounces into ounces. All right, and here's what we do then. We want to change 7 pounds into ounces. Now, 7 pounds is 16 ounces in 1 pound. The pounds go out, so we have 7 times 16 or 112 ounces. Now, the 7 pounds then is 112 ounces, so 7 pounds 3 ounces is the 112 ounces we got up here plus the 3 ounces or 115 ounces. Now, we can divide by 3 ounces. Now, when we go through the division, the ounce units cancel. Now remember, this can be thought of as 115 ounces over 3 ounces as a fraction, and we can see the cancellation of the ounce units a little more carefully. But we're getting an answer which doesn't have a unit of measure associated with it. It is an amount which represents the number of packages that we will have in our problem. So we're dividing here, and well, let's see, 3 into 11 goes 3 times 3, 9, subtract, I get 2, 3 into 25 goes 8, 8 times 3, 24, subtract, I get 1, so it's 38 1/3 packages, but she wants to know how many whole number of packages that she can achieve out of this amount of bran, so the answer then would be 38 packages.